Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Pinsetter, and today I'm working on a new drawing, as you can see. And this one's going to be charcoal, and it's going to be another landscape. And I got all my materials ready. Let's see, I'm actually going to be starting off with something I don't think I've ever used in a video before. This is powdered charcoal. And I've only used it like once before, so I figured I'd bust it out. It's starting to get dust on it. I figured I'd bust it out and make some use of it. And because what I usually do when I start a charcoal landscape to get the value for the sky, you guys have probably seen in my other videos, I usually just take a piece of compressed charcoal like this and just scribble it onto another piece of paper and then use paper towel or toilet paper to smear it on. But I was walking through Blick's art materials store probably 2 years ago when I bought this, and I saw it on the shelf. I was like, hey, that could come in handy. So we're gonna try that. I'm just gonna dip a brush into it and see what happens. I don't want to get it all over the place because I think you're supposed to, it says you should use a dust mask is recommended because it's pretty dusty stuff. But I don't think I have a dust mask handy, so I'm just going to go easy on it and hopefully not get it all over the place. I'm just using the Duo Pastello brush to brush this stuff on. And I don't want to go on there too dark with it, so I'm brushing it onto the tape first and then just kind of blending it down. There's going to be lots of clouds in this landscape anyway, so it's not a huge deal whether there's darker and lighter areas, because it'll just look like clouds in the end. But this landscape is going to be just a simple, like, nice grassland with lots of cool clouds, and right in the middle there's going to be one big, like, really old olive tree. And olive trees have really cool stumps, or yeah, I guess that's what it's, no, it's not called a stump. What's it called? The trunk. The older the tree, the more like gnarled and cracked and weathered the trunk looks. So I want to do like a really old looking olive tree with a really cool trunk. That's the plan. Yeah, this stuff actually doesn't go on too heavy. It's pretty light. I do have like a little bit of charcoal mixed in here from my pencils, because when I sharpen these pencils to get them really sharp, I use sandpaper and I end up with powder, so I just dump it into here. So there's kind of a mixture in here now, but I figured I'd use it anyways and see how it goes. This stuff is pretty dusty though. I could imagine if you're using a ton of it, it would be getting all over the place. You'd definitely want a dust mask. Alright. Well, it's not getting much darker than that. I'm kind of just pushing it around now, so I think that's now that I think back to the other times I've used this stuff, that's kind of what happens. It doesn't get super dark. It does give you like a nice mid-tone value, so it's still cool. But let me grab a piece of paper, start blending some of it. See what happens. I think I will end up using some compressed charcoal though to get some darker values in there. Just in a couple spots. Alright, if there wasn't dust everywhere before, there is now. Let's see, compressed charcoal, here we go. This is a General's charcoal. There's a number on there. It looks like 966, something like that. I've got a separate piece of paper over here. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. Just put a little bit on there. Grab this. Smear it around. But you can see how much darker this stuff is. And it goes on really smooth. So that's why this is like my default process. I love how smooth it goes on. Eventually I'll find a better use for that powdered charcoal that I bought. I thought it would be perfect for this, but it's not too bad, but doesn't really get the value that I want. Okay. There we go. So now let's start doing some highlights. This is my kneaded eraser pencil. Zoom back in here a little bit. Start kneading it. That way it's cleaner. That outside layer already had charcoal on it, so I think I might just hop right into doing clouds. I was thinking it is going to be lighter around the center, but the tree is going to be like right here in the middle, so I might as well just get started on clouds. Get a few values in there. I remember in my like 9th grade art class, that was when I first started taking art lessons, was back in 9th grade. It's like freshman year. Me and one other guy in my art class we just really loved it and took to it. And that guy could paint clouds just really well. They looked amazing. So I was always jealous of his cloud skills back then. That's when we were, like 16 years old. That guy was awesome. But I've definitely gotten better over the years, but seeing other people's art always helps me. It like inspires me to, man, that's like the level that I want to be at. That's what goes through my mind, and kind of pushes me to work harder and get better. So that's why I really like browsing the internet for other people's artwork and just, see what they do. Try and look at the techniques that they use. I just downloaded an app called Art Amino. Somebody commented about it one of my subscribers, and I'd never heard of it before, but it's kind of like DeviantArt, if you guys have seen that site. It's just like a place to post your artwork, and people can look at it and comment on it. And one of the cool things that they do is they actually have like challenges pretty much all the time. You can hop on there and say, like, today I hopped on and it said to try and draw the 7 deadly sins as like a character, like a person. So whatever they are, like lust, gluttony, jealousy, whatever else. I can't remember all 7 of them, but so people are on there making these characters that represented those 7 deadly sins. It's kind of interesting, but they've always got those challenges, and I want to try and start doing some of those because it's a cool like daily activity to keep yourself trying new things and challenging yourself. Really, it's pretty difficult to draw things on the fly, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, there's some really talented people out there, and seeing them makes me want to do more. Let's see, gonna switch to Faber-Castell. This is the eraser pencil. Get some more fine lines in there. Gotta figure out where the tree is gonna be. There's gonna be a tree like right in the middle of everything. Should probably kind of make an outline of it. It'll end right about there. Right about there. How far down? Trunk's gonna go down to about there. Alright, so that kind of gives me an idea. Oh, camera stopped. Gotta start her up again. There we go. My camera only records for like 15 to 20 minutes at a time. It's kind of lame. Then it'll do like an automatic shut off sort of thing, and I don't even notice it shuts off until I hear the lens close, because after like 10 seconds or so, the lens will just automatically close on it, and I hear it, and I know that it stopped recording. I don't know, it's just a thing that it does though. Alright, so there's the tree kind of outline. It's gonna be like a flat tree. And now I know about how far down I can go with my clouds. I actually found the picture of the olive tree that I wanted to draw, and I put it into Photoshop, made it black and white, and messed with the values a little bit. There's some cool settings in Photoshop that you can adjust each and every like color. Even though it's black and white, since it was green before, green and brown and whatever else, there's little sliders, and you can slide those colors around and make what used to be green, make it darker, make it lighter. And I like to go in there and mess with all the settings and make it look good. So I made it black and white, and then I found a cool background image and did the same thing. I use this brush all the time. Pacific Arc BR210 is what it's called. And it's actually made out of like horsehair apparently, which is kind of weird. But as I'm erasing, there's always little shavings or pieces of the eraser that get left on the page. and you don't want to like brush at them because you might smear your stuff around. So this works really good for that. It just like gently brushes them away. See how far down we want this to go. So yeah, I made the reference image. Like I was saying, I found a cool olive tree picture, made it black and white. I found a cool background picture, and then I just here, I'll show you. I took the olive tree and just dropped it onto the background image in Photoshop. So I just merged the two images and printed it off. And so that's what I'm going to try and draw. So as I'm drawing, I'm kind of measuring how far down the clouds are. So you can see it's about the same size. I made it printed off about the same size. So I'm making this bottom cloud down here. You can see how far in the tree goes. Right about there. That's the edge of the tree. And these clouds right about there. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I keep measuring things out, especially if I'm drawing. You know, that's not so important with landscapes. I mention that all the time, actually. Every cloud is different, you know. If I don't make this cloud look exactly like my reference cloud, it's like, who cares? Nobody's gonna know that it's different. If you're drawing a portrait, you're trying to get a likeness of somebody, you know, make it look like a person. That's when you gotta really worry about getting everything lined up perfectly. Because if you get somebody's nose crooked, or you make their eyes too far apart, or make their eyes the wrong shape, or whatever, it doesn't look like them. So that's always the hardest part of drawing portraits, and it took me a long time to get that down. The first portraits I I started drawing back when I was, 15, 16, they looked so bad. The people always looked like elves, because I would draw their eyes close together, and I'd give them these pointy ears because I didn't know how to draw ears yet. But you got to start somewhere, right? So that's probably good for a lot of you to know. If you feel like you're a crappy artist, I wasn't always a good artist either, there's still lots to improve upon. I feel like I'm getting pretty good with charcoal because I've been working with it for a long time. It kind of just slowly became like my favorite stuff to work with. But there's lots of painting stuff that I want to do, but I have a hard time with it. I haven't worked with paint very much. So I actually tried to film a video the other day with some watercolor painting that I was working on, and it turned out so bad I just ended up deleting it. I just threw it away. Eventually I will try it again. I think I was just too tired and had too much stuff on my mind to even attempt it. But yeah, it just takes practice. And for a lot of people, it's kind of like working out. If you stop working out, you start to lose your muscle. For a lot of people, if you stop drawing, you start to lose your ability to draw, which is no good. For me, that hasn't really happened to me, probably because I always draw. I haven't really taken any long breaks, but hopefully that doesn't happen to me. It's kind of a scary thought. Just forget how to draw. That wouldn't be good. Okay, so we've got some interesting looking clouds going on. And we're gonna add some darker spots. This is an extra soft charcoal pencil. Man, it is really windy outside today. I don't know what's going on. Look out my window and there's like umbrellas. My patio umbrellas are all blowing around and stuff. It's crazy. Sometimes, because I live in Southern California, sometimes we get some crazy wind. Santa Ana winds come blowing through. I lived here in this town my whole life, and it seems like a couple times a year it just happens. And it's funny because I used to have horses back in the house that I lived in before, and the wind used to freak them out because my neighbor had like an easy up, a huge like easy up tent. I don't know what they're really called. It's like a portable garage. Like you could park your car under it, but it's made out of tarp, and it's kind of like an easy up. But this crazy windstorm came and ended up blowing his garage, the whole easy up thing. It blew it like 3 houses down, and I remember my horses were just freaking out. Like, what the heck is going on? I thought it was the end of the world. This is a blending stump. I'm just making some darker areas for now. I don't know how far I'm gonna get with this drawing today. Like, how long have I been recording? Yeah, 22 minutes, I guess. So I don't know how long I'm gonna go, but this is gonna be a real-time drawing video because I haven't done very many of those, and I know a lot of you guys like them. But let me know if you guys would rather have me do this kind of stuff more often instead of like the speed drawings and the tutorials that I do, because usually with the tutorials, you know, I've like just finished a 6-hour long drawing and I don't really have time to I don't want to upload the whole thing at once. A 6-hour long video, that seems just crazy. And I figured you guys probably wouldn't like that. Sit through a 6-hour video. So I think I'll do something more like this, like just start drawing, and once I hit like I don't know, once I get to a certain amount of minutes maybe, or once I get tired of drawing, I'll just stop and continue the next day, but I'll upload it in pieces. So I think maybe I'll do that. Man, I'm using some old paper because I didn't really want to use my watercolor paper. I wanted to save that for something else. So I'm just using a piece of Bristol vellum. And I picked this up back in, oh my gosh, but I don't even know when. Back when I was like 16. So that was like 8-9 years ago. So this is some old paper. It's just been sitting around in my closet. And I bought a huge stack of it. I haven't used it in a long time though. I've been using that watercolor paper, so I'm not used to the texture of this anymore. It's really smooth compared to the watercolor paper. So it's hard to get the highlights in because it really took a lot of the charcoal, and it's not letting me take it back off with the eraser. So I'm just using white charcoal to get some highlights in there. But the watercolor paper that I usually use, it's a lot easier to lift the charcoal off the page if you want to add the highlights. The other thing, it could be the this stuff that I was using. Maybe this stuff sticks on there more, but it wasn't getting very dark, so I didn't like it very much. But if you can't erase to get your highlights, white charcoal does the trick. Let's see here. Oh, there goes my camera again. There we go. I'll probably have to like put a little title into the video because it's just gonna randomly go dark and you guys are probably gonna wonder what the heck's going on, so I'll have to put a little title that says "Keep calm. Video will return momentarily." So usually, since I'm doing this in real time, usually I would just edit that out. But I think I'll just leave it in. You guys get to see all the crap I go through to film these. So eventually my memory card's gonna run out of space. Maybe that's when I'll stop the video. I have a 32 gigabyte memory card, but it's recording at like, you know, I think 30 frames per second, but it's really high definition video. It's 1920 by 1280, so it's like full HD for it to really come in clear on the YouTube, on the internets. So I recorded in HD, and it takes up a lot of space. So that memory card fills up pretty quick. Then I gotta pop it out, plug it into my computer, and then my computer doesn't have space because there's so many, you know, video files and stuff on it, and my hard drive was only, it's like 750 megabytes. So I ended up having to buy, it's around here somewhere. I ended up having to buy one of these, external hard drive to hold all the YouTube videos. So gives you guys an idea of all the stuff that goes into making these videos that you probably didn't know. I had to learn how to edit. There's a lot that goes into that. It's a pretty steep learning curve because there's like a billion different things you can do with titles and transitions, and having to speed up, you know, take a 6-hour video and condense it down into 2 minutes, you know, speed it up to match the length of the song when I do the speed drawing videos. So, you know, that takes a lot of time to process. Back when I first started, it was definitely worse though. When I was first starting making YouTube videos, the only editor I had was Windows Movie Maker, and that's a very basic program. I don't even think it's around anymore. You could probably find it somewhere, but I'm sure Windows has something else now, or maybe they've upgraded it by now. But yeah, Windows Movie Maker, that's what I used for my first videos, and it was a pain. That's when YouTube was like first getting really popular. Everybody used Windows Movie Maker, and they used the same intro, that blue screen with the white letters and that same font, and yeah, good times. Alright, let's take a look at this. Take a step back. Oh yeah, my battery's about to die. It's flashing on the screen, so it's probably going to go black in a second. Alright, that's not too bad. I am fairly happy with that. I should probably change the battery. How long have I been recording? 30 minutes. You know what? I think 30 minutes is long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'll probably do a little bit more off camera. But this video is getting pretty long. But let me know what you guys think about these videos. You know, going just real time through the whole process and just listening to my boring stories the whole time. So yeah, before my camera dies, I'll just end this video, I guess. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and take care, you guys. See you later.